Hi, good people. It's Alicia D. I told you I would be here bright eyed and bushy tailed, and here I am. Y'all know I'm tired, but I'm here. Okay, so we're going to wait on our first guest. We're going to take a moment and wait on our first guest. And I need for you guys to post me questions, okay? This is very important. Post me questions to ask. Okay? So remember, let's talk about these ground rules. Let's see, hold on a second. Let me get in the group and see I'm over here. I don't see myself over here yet. Do y'all see me in the group? Okay, I need for y'all to jump in. Why is it not showing me my live right now in the group? Not really sure. I need for y'all to tag some people, okay? I can't even see it in the group myself. Not really sure why. Y'all know Facebook acts up sometimes. So our guest was here and I think he had a bad connection and so he had to jump off. So I'm hoping he is going to sign back in any moment. But I don't even see myself on the dog. Oh. Let me go back. Let me go. Hold on a second. Let me go to the link that I shared yesterday. That's really weird. Nothing is showing up. Hi, good people. I'm waiting on our guest to show back up. He was just here a minute ago. I don't know why I can't. If y'all can please leave a message, say something, say hi or something. And if you could also in the comments, tag me in the comments because I cannot even see this on Facebook. Like I'm on my phone right here and I do not see this live at all. So who is ever on right now, please make a comment and tag me, please. So it will populate in my feed. Facebook gets on my nerves. See? Now, I'm not gonna. Y'all, somebody make a comment and tag me, please. I'm not getting anywhere tonight. Y'all, I'm waiting on our guest to come back. He was here and then he left. But I need for y'all, can y'all make a comment, please? In the comments, can y'all tag me, please, so I can get this to come up on my phone? I'm sitting here patiently. And I cannot find it on my in the group. I cannot. I've been trying to find it right here. I'm gonna show y'all. See, nothing shows up for today. I'm not live right now, and I don't know why. See, I don't know why I cannot see myself. I'm gonna get back out of here, and I'm gonna text this guy right quick. Tag me, Regina. Tag me in the comments, please. Tag me in the comments. Because I can't find it on here. I'm trying to find it on my phone, right? Okay, thanks. Thank you. Now, I see it. I told you I would be here bright-eyed and thank you, Regina. Now, let's see if we can get this guy to come back on here. Okay, thanks. Thank you. Now, I see it. I told you I would be here bright-eyed. Let's see if we can get this guy. So, in the meantime, can y'all just post your questions over here? Just post your questions, please. Post your questions right here. Okay, maybe he wants to talk to me on the phone. I'm thinking maybe he doesn't want to do video because he was here. And then I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna call him right now and see if he wants to do audio instead. You know, sometimes this is hard for men to do. So Let's call him. I don't want his phone number to pop up over there. Oh Lord, he's not answering. Oh, he was just here. I hope he's not chickening out on me.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. Michael Minder.
Okay, let me see if my other guest is ready now. And if they are, we're going to go ahead and switch to my next guest. Okay, hold on. Let me text him. Because I am not going to waste your time and I'm not going to waste my time. Okay, so let me see. I'm going to call him right quick and just see if he's ready. Because this other guy is in a different time zone. Oh, oh, there he is. Okay.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
I was worried. I was like, oh my gosh, he's not coming back.
No, I'm back.
Okay, great. You need a moment to get settled?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, so let me tell you why you're here and how this came about. Okay, so I have a body confidence group that's made up of mostly women, of all women and girls. And one of our members last week asked the question, why do married men hit on me, knowing good and well they have a whole family and wife and everything at the house that thinks, they're so faithful. So there was a girl in the group. She was a younger girl, maybe in her, I don't know, early 30s. And this older married guy was trying to hit on her. And she was frustrated. Like, why is this happening? And so I thought, let's ask the question. So last week I had two brave guys on last week, and they shared their perspective, but neither one of them were married, right? One was engaged and one had never been married, but one had kids. So they were really transparent about what happened and kind of why they did what they did. And so as a follow-up, the ladies wanted to hear from actually men who had been married. And so that's how you got here.
Okay. I'm here.
So let me say this too. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate you sharing. And this is not a place where we are going to beat you up. That is not what we do. We love Black men. We need you guys in our lives. So again, thanks for being here. So let's just jump right in. Okay, you were married for how long?
I think it was 16 years, 17 years.
Wow. I didn't realize y'all had been married that long. Okay.
Yeah, we were.
Okay.
We was about to hit 20.
And how long you been divorced?
I think we're right about 6 or 7 years. Who's counting? I don't know. 6 or 7 years, something like that.
Okay. Okay, so tell us what happened. Tell us how you got to the point where you cheated. Like what happened?
A lot of it, I think, was due to the fact of getting married. Well, I can't really blame it on that, but married so young. I think we got married in 92. I was 22 and she was 24. And everything's fine. I guess a majority of it, I'm not going to say a majority of it, but some of it had to do with being so young and then, being married so young and really not being out. Neither one of us really was out in the streets or nothing like that. A lot of it had to do with that. Then a lot of it had to do with just being lots of times I'd say that a lot of us do stuff out of greed. And then a lot of us do stuff out of trying to prove a point with your homeboys. I mean, if you're at work and, everybody's gawking at some certain female, you kind of like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and do that because I can get it,
Uh-huh.
And so a lot out of ignorance, and then it's a collaborative, a little bit of everything.
Okay. So a few different things kind of coming together and making this kind of perfect storm. So is this something like of course this came over time, right? It just happened over time? Was it
Right.
right off the bat? Or was it, on into your marriage, years into your marriage?
No, it was a 3 or 4 years into the marriage, and like I say, we're both young, and I think some of it had to do with just I could never blame her because it's my fault. My ex-wife, she never did nothing to hurt me, so I can't never really blame it on her. I could say things that might have pushed me that way, but I could never actually give her the blame because I did it, and I'm a man and I own up to it, and there's no reason to cheat on a woman if you really love them. But then being at the age, a certain younger age, you don't really see it as something that's gonna wreck your life for the next 20 years. And
Really?
so I was, yeah, pretty much, it just it's not for that little bit of pleasure. I wrecked 3 lives. I got 3 boys, and you don't look at it like that. You're just like, I'm gonna get this, but then later on, you don't see the lives that it impacted as far as doing stuff. But a lot of it was my ex. She spent a lot of time at the church, and every time I turned around, she was doing something for the pastor, or I'd come home, my house would be a hot mess, and she'd say, "Well, I was over cleaning such and such house," and I'm like, "Okay, well, what about our house?" And I worked at a pretty hot job, and I'd get off work, and I worked in fiberglass, 105 degrees during the summertime, and I'd get off work. We had one vehicle, and she'd come pick me up 20, 30 minutes late, and she'd be like, "Well, I was cooking dinner at mom and daddy's house," and I'm like, "Okay." I'm out here, busting my butt,
Right.
and then you feel like you're everybody came before you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Which that's still not an excuse. Obviously it was my ex, it was her brother, but it was always taking care of the baby.
Right.
Always taking care of him, always, if something was going on, everything stopped to go take care of him.
Right.
And so, at 22, 23 years old, you're like, okay, so I'm busting my butt in fiberglass, get off work, and you're going to tell me that you've been at your brother's house cleaning his house up, and then I come home, my house look like a wreck.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And so then you turn around and you get somebody who might show you some attention or something, which, like I said, has nothing to do with cleaning a house or nothing like that. But then you get somebody show you some attention that's not always running to do something else for somebody else and not doing it for you.
Right.
And that's how a lot of people get in, because they give you a little attention. You're like, okay, well, then it started off of a sudden, and next thing you know, you got a full cooked meal when you get off work, and you're like, I don't even get this at home.
Okay. So you felt like you weren't getting her best, right?
Right.
Okay. And so again, on no level are we going to justify this. We are just here to hear how you felt, right? We're here to hear how you felt and what position you were in, and like how you got there, like your mindset is what we're really after. Like, what makes a man like think that he can have both worlds, right? What makes a man think he can be in both worlds? Is it just being able to compartmentalize? I can do this over here, and then I can do this over here, and these two worlds won't ever collide.
Well, that's contingent on what the purpose is. There's some people are doing stuff out of just because the sex, and then some people do stuff out of the attention, just like most females. I mean, if you come home and your man comes home and he just basically tired and goes straight to bed, and you get no attention, and then you have maybe a coworker at work come and give you all the attention. Hey, how you doing? Good morning, blah, blah, blah. And so it kind of, you get, I can't say attached, like there's no excuse. You can't sit there and say this. If you're married, there's no excuse to cheat on somebody. It's cut and dry. You're going to do that until you're divorced.
Okay,
Because, like I said, you kill somebody.
You're breaking up.
I'm breaking up?
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Okay, let me move this way.
Okay, I didn't hear your last thought.
But I was just saying that. Did you get the part up? For instance, if you're at work and I'm at work, and then somebody shows you attention, and you're not used to receiving that attention, but you see everybody else get that attention, you're gonna, as a human being, you're gonna gravitate to the attention.
Okay.
That's just like a child. If you have a father that's gonna come in and play with you all the time, you're gonna gravitate to him before you gravitate to the mom that's like, I'm busy.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Go ahead.
I'm fine. No, go ahead.
Okay. So let's talk about needing to feel important, right? And understanding everything that a woman has going on, right? Like we play multiple roles. We have so many hats that we are, wearing as well. So where do you see any like thought for your wife and everything she was doing, like as a whole? Or was it just like, I need this to be about me, I don't care about anybody else?
No, it wasn't so much as a whole that I didn't care about anybody else. But when you continue to, if you're married, don't get me wrong, I love my mother and father-in-law, I love my brother-in-law, like my own family, mother and father, they were my parents.
Right.
But then again, once you get married, you've got to learn to go home and take care of your husband.
Right. So what would you do differently? Okay.
Yeah.
What would you have done differently?
I probably would have communicated differently.
Okay.
And maybe probably would have, told my feelings and expressed my feelings about what was going on or whatever. But we tend to not do that because men, we don't do that. We're at least I'm a bad communicator unless I get to the point to where I get pissed off and then I want to communicate.
Okay.
But we're not good at communicating.
Okay. This is good because this is like the why, right? Because the communication wasn't there. So since you guys have been divorced, what has, initially you said you messed up your son's life too, right? Not just the marriage, but the home in general. What have you been able to teach your sons about what you've gone through? Like, has there been any, have you had counseling? Were you in counseling with your former wife? Like, what have you taught your boys? Like, what is the, what would you want them to get out of all of this?
I pretty much, we've spoken, time and time again, not to get in the same position that I put myself and actually put them in as well. One of the things that we've talked about, just, you got to communicate, you got to learn to talk to each other, and you've got to be to the point to where somebody else can't slide in and have more conversation with your wife or with your husband than you do. So, I mean, if you get to the point to where women cheat as well, so, I mean, you guys are just sneakier, you just don't get caught. Y'all just don't get caught. But we're done. We're done. We're done. We leave our phones open. And stuff like that. But you guys are just sneakier. But
wait, Michael, wait. We are gonna do a whole series on why women cheat as well. Okay, so
okay. I'll leave it alone then. Okay. I'll leave that alone.
We're gonna talk about that too.
But hey, how you doing? But one thing, I've talked to him before. I've talked to him, and I was like, it wasn't worth it to basically throw everything away over some draws. And they're doing really good with the relationships. Obviously, I got one to get married next week, and they kind of steered away from what they seen to do better, and I always done the same thing with my dad. My dad was a abuser,
Okay.
and so I was always the type of person said I would never laid a hand on a woman in my life, and never will.
Right.
But so lots of times you can explain things to kids and you can talk to them, but then lots of times they see stuff as well, and you can just basically tell them it's not worth it. It just is not really worth it. If you're not going to do it, instead of hurting somebody and destroying a relationship, destroying a marriage, destroying a house, it's probably best to just move on.
Yeah. So did you have any role models? Any strong role models growing up for a healthy marriage?
No. And that was the thing. I'm from California. It's the difference between the way you're raised in certain areas in the geographical. I hate to say it like that, but it's true. And so my dad, I was a latchkey kid. My dad came home when he came home, and my mom worked 12, 13 hours a day, 2 jobs. And so I never really was taught how to love your wife, or how to, hang out and hold hands, and how to just shower with attention, because I never seen it.
Right.
So majority of stuff I went on was just from, I guess what do you call it? I can't think. Basically, I winged with it. I just tried to learn as much as I could. But being married at 22 years old, is kind of, when you've not been taught and you've not really seen what it is to actually love a woman. You could say you love a woman. You could, do all the kissing, loving, hugging, Facebook stuff, and show you kissing and stuff. But till you actually learn how to love somebody and love yourself, you pretty much are just pretty much blind.
Right.
You're just going through the motions. You go through the motions. But if you never seen it and was never taught it, it's kind of hard to display it.
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of times we do go through the motions, right? Life happens and we just, and then life happens, right? Stuff happens, hardships and money problems and kids and school and work. It's a lot, right? It is a lot. So what have you done to better yourself? What have you done? What steps have you taken? Do you do self-reflection? Do you what are you doing to be a better human being, right? Not to say that you were bad, right? Because we're not.
I wasn't. I was just a hoe. I wasn't a bad guy. I was just a hoe. I was a good provider, took care of my kids. I've never missed ball games, football games, anything like that. Which, unlike my father, I mean, I didn't play sports stuff because nobody was ever there. So I was always kind of like I was a latchkey kid. But you look back and you realize you learn from your lessons. I should say, is pretty much what I can say, is that you've learned from your past experiences and your past hurts and your past hurting people, because nothing worse than hurting somebody else that didn't deserve it.
Yeah, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, hurt people, and it's really hard because people don't deserve things. My ex-wife didn't deserve it. She didn't deserve it. She's a wonderful woman.
Yeah.
But my stupidity is, and then, like I said, a lot of it comes out of greed. You're 20 years old, you're halfway cute, and you're making a bunch of money, you're driving a nice car, and it's just
so greed. So when we say greed, are we saying lust? We're saying your eye, wanting more than what you already had, just flat out, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
No, I think it was, with my case, it was more of a, it was brag. You got a bunch of guys, 20 years old, bragging rights. You're working in a plant, and there's some women that are pretty attractive, and you have guys talking, oh, she ready. I'm, and then majority of guys, oh, I'm gonna get that, and it's like
pressure,
like a race to the finish line. No, it's just a race. It's it's just one of them guy things. You're like, everybody's like, she's fine. It's like, shoot, watch this.
A race.
You know?
So you're saying it was a race. It wasn't peer pressure. It was more like a race. Like who can get her first?
It can be a race, exactly.
Okay. Wow. Okay. this is we didn't hear it out with the last two. The last two, it was like peer pressure. Like, let me get her because I don't want the other guys to think I can't get her, right? But you're saying it's a race, like who can get her first, like almost like a challenge.
It's almost like a challenge. Exactly, because people, they be bragging about, oh, she's fine or whatever. I'm like, shoot, watch this. I'm gonna get that. And they're like, nah, you can't holler. It's just a man thing. I can't say a man thing because every man doesn't think that way. Right. But as far as where I was at the time, it was a bunch of guys. We worked at PBG. We had crew parties and everything else, and people would come in. And you're like, oh, she's attractive or whatever may be the case. And guys be like, I'm gonna holler, and the next guy like, shoot, I'm gonna holler at her before you holler at her.
So was this like a?
And so let's talk
about this a little bit more in depth. Was this just a fling, right? Or was it more than that? Did you really? Was it just about sex, or did you become emotionally attached to this woman? And were there other women?
No, it was more of a fling at the beginning. And then it grew into something more because actually the time you spend together. And then, like I said, you get to the point to where you're used to coming home and you got to go across town to get your food. And then you're dealing with somebody that actually the first one was a woman I worked with. So we was on the same shift. And I'd go by there when we got off work or whatever. And, you get a full course meal and beer and everything else and sex. And you're like, I get home, I come home to a pair of cotton pajamas and a Chef Boyardee hat on her head.
Okay. So of course this woman, right, is taking advantage of your situation, right? She knows you're married, right?
Right.
So of course she can do all this extra stuff, right? Of course, because you're not with her 24/7, right? So the shoe were reversed, she would probably be no different than the next married woman trying to do it all, right?
Right.
Yeah.
To a point.
Yeah. So I want to kind of like, I just want to put that in perspective. Just because she was doing all of this, she was doing it on the side, right? And she had the time to do it. It's not like you were there with her and she had to, you guys had a whole family. This was a woman who was taking advantage of the situation. Like, and I don't know if you came onto her and she was like, no, you're married. Like, I don't know about those details. I don't even think those are important.
I'm sorry. My bad. I had to shut my phone off. The battery's going dead.
Oh, okay.
I'm switching phones. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
Okay. So was the other woman married, or did she have kids?
She was actually married and separated.
Okay. So hurt people. Two hurt people. Right? She was discontent. You were discontent.
Right.
Okay. And she had kids?
No.
No kids. Okay. So I got a question over here. They want to know, was it one affair or was it multiple affairs?
I had multiple. Okay. Over the years. It was one here and another one there.
Okay.
But it was multiple affairs, yeah.
So we've talked about the fact that you are growing, you have learning your lesson, you have forgiven yourself, right? And you're trying to do better by, your sons and that sort of thing. What is your relationship like now with your ex-wife?
Oh, we're still best friends. I love her to death. that Negro told me to come home today, I'd be on the porch in 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay. So
But
that's
we have good communication. We didn't have a nasty breakup, or it wasn't no, we've actually, I think we might have really ever had maybe 2 arguments and 6 loud screaming arguments. No, I mean, I don't even know if we had any arguments like that in 15 years. So it wasn't
okay.
like we were the type that fought all the time or whatever. It was just but anyways, we're friends.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to hear. That's really, really good to hear. So yeah. Okay, so let's see if people have another question over here. Let's see. Okay, somebody is questioning what I said. They said when I said that the woman took advantage of the situation, one of the women is saying no, they both took advantage of the situation. And yes, I agree with whoever said that. I can't tell who said that. Oh, yeah, okay, that's one of my friends who said that. Cam, yes, you're right. They both took advantage of the situation. Okay, what other questions do y'all have over here? I'm waiting for them to ask me a question. Y'all ask these questions now. We ain't got all day to be waiting on y'all. Y'all supposed to have these questions ready. Okay. I'm gonna give him 1 more minute to write something down. And if they don't say nothing, we're gonna wrap it on up. Okay? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think so many times we try to blame the other woman, right? We try to blame the other woman and put all the guilt on her, and that's the way we don't.
You can't blame somebody. You can't blame the other woman because it's my decision. I can't sit there and blame the wife because it's my decision, and you can't blame the woman because it was my decision. It wasn't like I got off work, I drove over there, regardless of the fact that if the woman knew I was married or not, I still made that decision. So you can't go and say that, she shouldn't have done that, she shouldn't have done that. Right. But it would never happen if I took my ass off.
Right. But I'm just saying a lot of women, because they don't want to take ownership that their marriage is not where they want it to be. I was saying a lot of times the married woman, not in this case, I'm just saying, maybe I'm talking about for just other women, they will blame the other woman, right? Instead of taking ownership for the fact that their marriage is not in a good place and that their marriage is in trouble, instead of blaming the man. So, okay, we got one last question. How did your wife find out?
I don't remember. Actually, to tell you the truth, it's been so long ago, I can't really tell you exactly how she found out.
I know.
You live in a small town, so everybody knows everybody, and you doesn't take but 2 or 3 people to say something, and it's all over the place. So I think she had her assumptions, getting home late at night, and the lies, working double shift, the BS. And she's not a dumb woman, so she figured it out. She got a lot of sense, as well as I know. So I think she probably has seen it and realized it.
Okay, good enough. Okay, so Michael, listen, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your perspective. I think it takes courage to be able to share, right? I think for a lot of men, they may think you are a sellout.
Yeah. I think never cared about what nobody think about me. They won't put your hands on me.
Right. But I think it's because when I first started to do this topic, I put it on Facebook and I had this guy to inbox me and he's like, you're not going to find no man to come on and talk about that. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll find somebody. Somebody's willing to talk because somebody's learned a lesson. Somebody wants to be a better person, right? Somebody wants to grow through their mistakes. And so for that, we commend you.
All right.
Okay. So I don't think we have any other questions. Again, we appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your story, and we wish you much, much happiness in the future.
Thank you so much. You have a blessed night.
Okay, you too. Bye bye.